Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host, Sri Iyer. We have Shekhar Iyer joining us to talk about the new twists and turns in Indian politics. We'll start with, of course, what is happening in Maharashtra, and then the four new BJP presidents, the impact, as well as the implosion that is happening in the opposition rank. So without further ado, let's welcome Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, Sherji. Namaskar. I don't know. The one question that keeps, everyone, sitting up and watching the development. Is it real? Is it real that Sharad Pawar has actually fallen out with his nephew? Or is the nephew really revolting? Because there are so many stories swirling around, corridors of power in Maharashtra. People are not sure what exactly is happening. And the rank and file of Nationalist Congress Party are even more confused as to how this could happen. That Sharad Pawar only a week ago confirmed, that he was engaging the BJP leadership in trying to form a government in 2019 after the assembly elections. And that was a googly. Now people are wondering, what is this? What is this happening? That, and also said there are some aspects, you do not know whether to laugh at it or to see what kind of politics is this. On the day Ajit Pawar decides to take oath, there is a meeting in Ajit Pawar's house. The MLAs are there. Supriya Sule is there. Then we are told that Ajit Pawar conveys the decision, yes, we have to join the government, there is no other way. And Supriya Sule calls up Sharad Pawar. This is supposed to be one of the most authenticated version, and says that I try to persuade Ajit Da, but Ajit Da is keen on going to the Raj Bhavan and getting sworn in. Then Sharad Pawar instructs Supriya Sule, okay, then you can leave that place. And then she comes away. And then later we are told Supriya Sule was not aware why this happened, and and that thing was not discussed. Whereas Praful Patel, another right-hand man of Sharad Pawar, has confirmed, yes, this thing was going on for a long time. Even in the month of August last year, when the MVA was having a problem, Vikas Agadi was a problem, more than at least 51 of the 53 MLAs had even given a written representation to Sharad Pawar, look, we must dump Congress and Shiv Sena and form a government with the BJP. And that has not been contradicted. And this is all peppered with that, altruistic statements like Sharad Pawar is still my leader, Ajit Da is my dear brother. Now, one does not understand. And then Sharad Pawar top it all, the topic is from Sharad Pawar. He says, in our family, our ties are intact. There is no problem because we don't discuss politics. So the whole attempt to confuse the rank and file and this battle that is going on today, both sides have called their respective MLAs. Both sides have issued notices, suspended them, so that when the matter moves to the court, they can say, we issued the suspension notice first, we sought the disqualification first. But the fact remains, for an average NCP worker, it doesn't matter what the leadership has decided, because NCP, as Sharad Pawar has created that party, as they say in Hindi, jaisa bhakt vaisa bhagwan. So similarly, in politics also, jaisa neta vaisa uska followers. So there is no ideology, anything binding. And the whole thing is, Sharad Pawar has always been called a Chanakya, is too clever by half, nobody can outwit him. But here is a situation, a chip of his own block is outwitting him, if the differences are real. But the game is very clear. Probably, I think Sharad Pawar fell into what I would call the syndrome which affected the whole Mahabharata story, because somewhere is moha, the love for his daughter, and this attempt to somehow foist her on the party and foist her over and above Ajit Pawar could have perhaps been, the last straw. But even then, I think Ajit Pawar would not have revolted, but for the fact she was made in charge of Maharashtra, which is supposed to be the territory of, I think the understanding was Supriya Sule would concentrate on national affairs. She would be looking after NCP expansion, I don't know where, but basically she would be an ambassador of the NCP in Delhi. And Ajit Pawar would look after Maharashtra, but that did not happen. Sharad Pawar, this is all just less than a month ago, where you saw Ajit Pawar being totally sidelined. Then Ajit Pawar comes with a statement, I am not interested in the leader of the opposition job. So there were several signals coming. But it is also clear that when Ajit Pawar walked out, Sharad Pawar did not stop it. But aftermath, what do you see? Both flexing muscles. So this has left people confused, and more shocked is Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and our other friends like M.K. Stalin. And even M.K. Stalin wanted called up and asked by what has happened. And look at it, sir. Even after this, the infighting, the Vikas Agadi has not stopped, because Sharad Pawar faction unilaterally announced the leader of the opposition in the assembly, Jitin Awad, and who is also the chief whip of the party. A leader of the opposition is also chief whip of his own party. And that has been questioned by Congress, because Congress has already recognized the split. Congress says, with your numbers down, we are the largest opposition party, so we should get the job, which means the split in the NCP, the first recognition has come from the Congress. Now, given this thing, sir, there is one more thing which is happening. As if, every opposition party wants to split. Look at Nitish Kumar. He suddenly started meeting all his MPs when he came to know that there is a lot of disquiet there also, because they are upset with two things. One, the way he had gone into this alliance with RJD and overnight, switched sides from BJP to RJD and remained chief minister. The second thing is, they did not like the way he conducted the Patna meeting, because Patna meeting did not have a focus, did not have anything. And his eagerness to project as if he is doing everything at Rahul's bidding. Because at the end of the Patna meeting, sir, we would have noticed Nitish Kumar did not come with any concrete ideas or concepts. Sir, even if nothing has happened, normally parties try to project that this great gathering has, actually moved forward, there is some agenda. But all that Nitish Kumar saying, we met, we discussed, and I want Rahul Gandhi to say something. He was desperate for some endorsement from Rahul Gandhi. And Rahul Gandhi shifted the microphone to Kharge, and Kharge mumbled something, and that came to Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi said, we have to fight. We have to fight the BJP. That was known for all along. So now what is happening is, now Nitish Kumar, I believe, is in a panic. He called up the Rajya Sabha deputy chairman who belongs to his party and told him that, and who has since, has been more aligned with Modi than with his party. And Harvansh Singh, Harvansh talked to, and he went there and discussed with him. Probably now the story is, his Paltu master is going to do another somersault. Though in the state BJP has made it very clear, please don't take him again. So it's going very funny, and I'm told that there are fears. The Stalin is in fact fearing a similar strike on DMK, with the talk that there are ministers who are unhappy, and for instance PTR Rajan, there is a lot of talk that he was removed after that telephone conversation was leaked. So of course this whole development has left some core supporters of Prime Minister Modi in a sort of duvida, or I will say a battle of conscience. What is this clean politics? Is it what is this? 1 week ago, Prime Minister says NCP is the most corrupt party, and even listed the scam in which the prime character is Ajit Pawar, particularly the irrigation scam. He even gave a figure. Then after this, what is this happening? I mean, is it clean? So I find a lot of supporters are worried. What is this clean politics? And to them, I think they can only take comfort from Lord Krishna Bhagavan said in Bhagavad Gita, in order to quell adharma, you have to use adharma. So there is a lot of why he and that this probably enforcement ED's that ED being used as a tool, to which Praful Patel has been giving interviews saying there is no ED case against me. And of course, if ED was the reason, then how come Jayant Patil, who is facing the latest ED investigation, is still with Sharad Pawar? So this whole thing shows that our politics has gone on a roller coaster ride, and voters are wondering what's happening. So the most difficult aspect is also this, that BJP has been working very systematically, Sam, Ved, Dand, whatever it is, we have, because the agenda that BJP is pursuing in terms of larger agenda for this country, they feel that at times they have to adopt this kind of shortcuts and other things. I do not know the consequences of those shortcuts, whether those are proper, those are politically correct, but everywhere, this question is coming up. Is BJP going soft on corruption? That if we can make so much of difference to Prime Minister's commitment, then what is going to happen? And the last word could be from Sharad Pawar. By end of it all, Sharad Pawar has to only issue a statement saying that Modi is the best to lead the country after 2024 elections.
So this has to be sung in the washing powder Nirma, that tune, because it is captured, the lyrics are captured for that. 𝙒𝙬𝙤𝙬
Indeed. I think laundry machine, has been used in West Bengal, as Mamata says. It has been used in, now it is being used in Maharashtra. It was earlier used in other states. So I don't know what brand this laundry machine is. But then one thing is clear, sir, none of these leaders will have their cases withdrawn, because these cases, some of them are in court. Property has been seized. In case of Ajit Pawar, more than, in terms of his own direct involvement, all his financiers, they have faced investigation from income tax raid to money laundering cases. So it's quite a scene where you see that whatever it is, everybody is bothered about the vikas of this country, because the statement comes is this: we are for the development of this country. I never saw much bigger commitment for country's development, sir. Even during emergency days, I didn't see such a commitment. Everybody is saying we are backing the 20-point program for the sake of country's progress. But now I can see every politician worth his salt is saying he is for development.
Sir, I can visualize Sharad Pawar singing washing powder Namo, washing powder Namo, Namo. That's it. So after that, everything is over. They are back to being brothers. There's one other interesting twist that I heard, and I want your input on this. The twist is that things are not very smooth between the Shinde faction of Shiv Sena and the BJP in Maharashtra, and BJP wanted to get a counterbalance just in case this guy starts stomping about. Is it true?
To a great extent, yes, I would say, because sir, the coalition, the Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde plus BJP was 172 members. Very comfortable.
Yes.
There is no problem. But the problem was, where the friction, you saw those advertisements, declaring Eknath Shinde most popular leader, and some attempts to show that, the Sutradhar of this is not Devendra Fadnavis, this arrangement. But those are, I would say, more done by the supporters of both the parties rather than leaders themselves. And Eknath Shinde was taken into confidence in this. And within the, I would say, within the, among his MLAs, Sena MLAs, see, they were waiting for this expansion of Maharashtra cabinet. Now that 9 people have come from NCP. So, of course, there are still, I think, another more than 10 vacancies are there, and they could get filled. Their worry is, look, they broke away from Uddhav Thackeray only for a cabinet berth or something, some head of some corporation which has a ministerial thing. But then this is a new situation. But I think the problem is also to do with portfolios. See, the portfolios of, has not yet been announced.
Malaidar portfolios, of course.
Yes, Malaidar portfolios, So that has not been announced. And that is keeping a lot of them worried as to what we will get and what will happen. But I think the larger thing I see, sir, is I think this arrangement will somehow, and Speaker, Maharashtra Assembly Speaker is, is a BJP person. And this Uddhav Thackeray faction has moved the Supreme Court saying you wanted that disqualification against these Eknath Shinde people to be decided by the Speaker at at the earliest. Now such a long time has passed and nothing has happened. They have filed a case in Supreme Court. And Speaker says, Speaker has been giving interviews, Rahulji. He says, look, everything is dependent on numbers. and I'll go by the process. And in the meantime, further disqualification has been received from both these NCP factions. So I don't see anything happening. But one thing possible is there, I think. When will the civic elections take place, including for that is seen as, almost 3/4 of an assembly battle. The civic elections to more than 20 corporations, including Brihan Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune, Kolhapur, Solapur, all these very important cities, and where the real political battle is normally takes place before the assembly elections. And there is a great possibility that they may not happen before the Lok Sabha elections. And I will not be surprised, Shri if assembly elections take place along with Lok Sabha elections, because the assembly elections are due only in November of 2024, after the Lok Sabha elections in April, May. So there is a possibility somehow this arrangement will carry on.
Why not club them together? Makes sense. Yeah. So Chit bhi meri, Pat bhi meri, so he'll win because he's got practically everybody except Uddhav Thackeray and maybe Sharad Pawar. We don't know. Sharad Pawar is one of those, man sitting on the fence. We'll never know.
Sir, if he gets a phone call from Prime Minister Modi to say that I want Supriya Sule in the Union Council of Ministers, I think overnight this whole thing will end. I will not be surprised, because he wanted to make her the chief minister. He wanted to make her the first women chief minister of Maharashtra. That was his ambition. But failing which, if she gets a berth in the union cabinet, either now or after 2024, I think the matter will be settled, because at 82, I do not think, and sir, everything that Ajit Pawar has done is from the style book of Sharad Pawar. In 1978, he did the same thing. He walked out of Vasantdada Patil's government with 38 MLAs. This time, Ajit Pawar is claiming at least 40 plus MLAs, and I'm told it could go even up to 43 out of the 53 MLAs they have. So you can see that Ajit Pawar has not done anything that which he has not learnt from his uncle. It's very, and that not even double speak, you call it triple speak, or I don't know how many times, what they say, to whom do they say. And surprisingly, sir, the acrimony normally one would see when DMK, Vaiko walked out of DMK, or when MGR walked out of DMK, that acrimony at the top level, because they are still being civil to each other. Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule. I don't see that so much of. I mean, I think they are following what Faiz Ahmad Faiz used to say, कि जम से लड़ो, मतलब जम से लड़ाई करो, लेकिन इतना गुंजाइश रहे कि कभी दोस्त बच जाए तो शर्मिंदा ना होना. I mean, I'm not quoting the exact Urdu words, but this is the exact, the meaning of it is, you fight to your fullest, but leave little scope for, a friendship in the future, so that you are not ashamed then.
So anything is possible. So let's leave it at that, and especially since you have an ace googly bowler in action, we have to see what the ace pace bowler has up his sleeve. So we will leave it that, and we also touched upon DMK as a possibility. In DMK, the rumors are that if something happens, it would probably be under the banner of Kanimozhi. Is that your feeling too?
I think so, because there are reasons to feel that in this current dispensation, Kanimozhi and A. Raja, with Stalin completely standing by Senthil Balaji, who is the new upstart in the party and who is the new all in all in the party because of his financial clout. So there is a tendency to feel, look, the first family is entirely thrown its weight behind Senthil Balaji. So the old guards are felt left out, and Kanimozhi is the future leader, because the problem is she cannot see how, with already the rise of her nephew, that is Udaynithi Stalin, the son of M.K. Stalin. I mean, there is not much she can do, except her role is similar to Supriya Sule, with whom she has a very close relationship. In fact, Kanimozhi and Supriya Sule are best of friends in Parliament. We have seen the often.
You left out the third musketeer, Harmanpreet Kaur.
Yes. So they are all.
Harsimrat Singh Badal.
Harsimrat Singh, that's the wife of Sukhbir Singh Badal. So you can see that this is whatever is being played out here is something to her. But then she has always had a channel with Amit Shah, who remembers her every birthday. And when her mother was ill and she went abroad for treatment, Amit Shah called her up and said whether she needed any assistance at the government level. So you can see that, the courtesies are intact. And when political courtesies are intact means the door is ajar.
Well, there goes the 2G scam if that happens.
But that is also has been now revived in Delhi High Court. Sir, with the Prime Minister Modi, you cannot predict anything. Because
this is rabdi, sir. This is rabdi. Heat from the bottom, cool from the top.
and sir, now Nitish Kumar, sir, Nitish Kumar, all this meeting, Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman, who he was very upset with Harvansh because he had participated in the new parliament building where Janata Dal United had boycotted it. And he was so upset with him that to that extent that Prime Minister Modi ensured he was almost the master of ceremonies when it came to inauguration of the building. In fact, Om Birla, I would say, the Lok Sabha Speaker had a secondary role. It was more of our Harivansh. Now, and that with the CBI filing the charge sheet against Tejasvi Yadav, along with his parents, Lalu and Rabdi. Now, what happens now? What happens to Tejasvi? Suppose the CBI wants to arrest Tejasvi. So, what happens to his government? But as I mentioned earlier, sir, our Bihar BJP leaders have told the central, counterparts, look, for heaven's sake, don't allow this Paltu master again back. And Sushil Modi says there is a stampede in JDU. For what? To return to BJP fold.
Okay, so that goes the opposition unity or disunity. Now let's take a look at the 4 BJP presidential appointments, with the 5th one on the card. We'll talk about all the 5. Let's start with the 4 confirmed appointment. Shekharji.
Yes. There was a long sessions we saw at the Prime Minister's residence in the last 1 week, where Amit Shah, Party President JP Nadda, the BL Santosh Secretary Organization, the General Secretary Organization, and other leaders. Then you had a Union Council of Ministers meeting, which was in the new complex Pragati Maidan, which is going to host the G20 summit in September. People thought that the Union Council when the Prime Minister had the entire Union Council of Ministers meeting, probably that's a meeting where some resignations may be sought or something. But that was on a complete different thing. It was about BJP's plans, ahead, beyond 2024. What kind of projects they are looking at? What are the goalposts to be covered? And also, Finance Minister made a presentation as to what kind of budget has been allotted to various infra projects, what is the progress in these projects, what more can be accomplished by January 2024, because she presents her budget on February 1st, or the first working day of February. Now, so that meeting definitely did not dwell on individual ministers, but other meetings that were held, they primarily had 3 objectives. One is the Prime Minister desires that BJP go back to their drawing board as to the 160 Lok Sabha seats which they had lost, or they had lost by narrow margin, or they had come second or even third in some cases, and those are spread out in states where we have seen the first round of changes. So the BJP had won 300 plus seats, but there were 160 seats which they want to focus, so that if there is any loss or a dent in the 303 which they are currently holding, they could make up from this 160. Now, in those 160 seats, they had already asked a select group of ministers to visit those constituencies. This was more than 7-8 months ago. They were told to go there, examine those constituencies, look at the voter data, look at the voting pattern in those constituencies over several general elections. A lot of groundwork had been done. Now, the idea is, in Telangana, the problem was, sir, at one time, this Bandi Sanjay Kumar was seen as a very favorite of the Prime Minister, and he was seen to be, really putting up a fight for the BJP in Telangana. But then I think the problem came his style of functioning. He rubbed a number of other leaders not in the right way. And then when they got this Etala Rajender, who is again an OBC face, and the idea was he had to be accommodated some way, and he had terrible problems with Sanjay Kumar. So they had to bring in somebody who would not belong to either of these factions and could calm passions. And with Karnataka victory, Congress is on a high, on a high octane in Telangana. So by asking G. Reddy to become the Telangana unit chief, the whole idea is somehow, cool down, at least the focus on the elections. And Rajendra has been made chairman of the Telangana campaign committee, because he was demanding that he should be projected as chief minister, to which they did not agree. The central leaders did not agree, and they said, look, you will be chairman, which means he has to work as hard now that Sanjay Kumar is not in the picture so much. And Sanjay Kumar may get a berth in the central cabinet, because he's a Lok Sabha member,
so
he can
cool passions there.
Yeah, so that he also remains in the picture, and depending on the outcome, then the future roles can be. This is about Telangana. Sir, coming to Andhra Pradesh, the Andhra Pradesh BJP's problems have been.
Back to Telangana, just one observation, sir. 12 key party members of the BSR, that is Chandrasekhar Rao's party, have defected to Congress.
Yes, because the Congress is seen as most attractive proposition right now, sir. And a number of them, because, and this is a repeat of what KCR had done. He had completely demolished the Congress setup in Telangana. And many of them feel that they may not get ticket in KCR setup, or that they have fallen out with some of the other functionaries there. So their future is here. But at the same time, for the Congress, it's a good optics. And Rahul Gandhi even went there to welcome them into the fold. And he addressed a meeting in Khammam, which unfortunately the Congress did not get that traction. For a simple reason, that was the day of the Maharashtra revolt. Hardly I saw any channels showing Rahul Gandhi's Khammam rally, which was supposed to be the rally. Now, and the other worry I can see, sir, which is worrying KCR to a great extent, KTR also, how will the minorities vote in Telangana elections? Will there be a repeat of Karnataka, or the presence of MIM sort of in favor of KCR? Will it somehow prevent those Muslim vote shifting? Sir, if you would have noticed, after the Maharashtra development, OVC has been attacking the Congress, has been attacking the anti-BJP alliance in Maharashtra, saying, look what has happened. To remind that, look, Congress is no guarantee to prevent BJP, which I think is doing a favor to KCR, reminding his voters and other voters, who belong to his community, to look, do not ditch KCR or our kind of loose arrangements in favor of the Congress. That is one. But already, sir, whatever I also sense that the Telangana, this Maharashtra development, in a way, has damped the Congress also, because even though Karnataka gave a buoyancy, but Maharashtra has somewhat brought it down to a more realistic level, I must say. And then, yes, sir.
मेरे को एक चीज समझ में नहीं आ रहा भाई, मैं हैदराबादी हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूं आपसे, आप तो समझते हैं. मेरे को एक चीज समझ में नहीं आ रहा भाई. ओवैसी मैं सोचा बीएसआर का बी टीम है, अब और भी सुन रहा हूं कि वो बीजेपी का भी बी टीम है. अब ये तीसरा कांग्रेस को भी बी टीम बनने वाले हैं क्या वो? तो अब क्या करेंगे, किसके लिए सपोर्ट करेंगे, किसके लिए इनकी वो ये तो 3 वे स्प्लिट हो जाएगा ना. क्या होने वाला है?
काय को ना ए टीम है ना बी टीम है, ये तो सी टीम है. जो कहीं भी लग सकता है, ए के साथ भी लग सकता है, बी के साथ भी लग सकता है.
तो समझो, he is the joker in the pack, he can align with anybody.
Sir, Shekhar Iyer ji, these days I hear restaurants in Hyderabad and even in some other southern towns have now declared that they are changing the nomenclature of vegetable biryani. Biryani will mean the non-vegetarian biryani. All other items which includes rice and vegetables will not be called biryani, it will be pulao. So you can see the politics of biryani playing out in Telangana. So you already, some people are saying this is too much of politics in eating business. Sir, let's move to Andhra Pradesh. Now, in Andhra
Yes, yes.
Pradesh, a situation is where Jagan Reddy is yours truly for BJP. And, he has always been. And you have TDP leader Chandrababu Naidu, who has rued the day he left NDA, in 2018. And since then, he has been, trying to come back, got an audience with Amit Shah, and he has tied up with Pawan Kalyan, and with Pawan Kalyan, BJP has an understanding. But BJP's own thing in Andhra Pradesh has been, not much work, because with this kind of footsie, you cannot really do real hard opposition politics in Andhra Pradesh. Now, the decision to put Purandeshwari, Daggupatti Purandeshwari, as BJP face in Andhra Pradesh, is also a way to counter, is also a message that should please Jagan. Because Purandeshwari's younger sister is married to Chandrababu Naidu. It is again back to the NTR extended family. And she was also the Congress face, that for the same reason when Congress, when the Congress was fighting TDP. So the confusion in Andhra Pradesh persists. Though Purandeshwari, I do not know how much she can bring little more seriousness to BJP's efforts in Andhra Pradesh, but they had to give a new face, and their hope is they hope to win at least 2 or 3 Lok Sabha seats from Andhra Pradesh. That's probably I'm saying 2 or 3. It could be more also, but the idea is that, and that I don't know how that arrangement is going to work, because Jagan will have to see that he has, he fights, his party fights the Lok Sabha elections as seriously. Yes, sir.
Sir, there is another gentleman, Swami Paripunananda, if I remember correctly. Swami Paripunananda. He was expelled from Hyderabad by Chandrasekhar Rao. And he has his mutt is in Kakinada. And he also used to be in Hyderabad. He was giving such explosive speeches. I mean, Raja Singh can learn a thing or two from him. I've heard him speak. I mean, I've shared the dais with him on a couple of events. I've heard him speak. Absolutely stunning Telugu. See, the thing about Telugu is the Janata, Aam Janata has grown up listening to magnificent dialogue delivery by N.T. Ramarao, S.V. Rangarao, when they used to do all these itihasic movies, right? So they are used to that bombastic speech where, people can change intonation up and down. And, if you remember, what was the one-line tagline of N.T. Ramarao? Aru Kotla Andhrula Atma, self-respect, Atma Gauravam. Aru Kotla Andhrula Atma Gauravam. See how cleverly he got it. This is Edukai Munai, sir, at its best. So what he said was, I am forming a party for the self-respect of Telugus. Andhra at that time was unified, and he 2/3 majority came roaring to power. Now, he made some mistake because he was politically poor. Poor guy was a bit of a rookie, and Chandrababu Naidu ran circles around him, and he finally stole his party from under the. He pulled the rug from under NTR's feet, and he was never the same man after that. Now, given that kind of an adversary, do you think this lady will do anything? Why am I not seeing BJP really pick up Swami Paripunananda? Is it that they think that he might become a counter to Yogi Adityanath? They are two different people.
No, I think they would rather prefer people of that kind to do their whatever they are doing and derive benefits rather than get them inside the BJP. Because you see, Yogi Adityanath's case also, Yogi Adityanath never submitted to, he was never part of BJP for a long time, though his guru also, and they contested on BJP ticket, but they had their own setup, and that setup sometimes even put up candidates against BJP in assembly elections. So they are difficult. Yes. So Adityanath was never in BJP until very recently, though they contested on BJP ticket. They are Hindu Bahini, Bahini and Sena and all that. That was very active in Purvanchal, in the eastern UP. And whether it was Mahant Gorakhnath or Mahant Adityanath, their politics is different. And BJP has realized that these leaders are best, when you operate, when they keep doing whatever they have to do, which BJP themselves cannot do, or BJP themselves cannot make such utterances. So that purpose is served. But Today, Adityanath has now got integrated into the BJP. Though his all those Vahini Senas are all, I think, Vahinis, Hindu Vahinis all are rather dormant now. But some of those supporters have been accommodated in the BJP. But then it's a relationship, I would say, quite always on a ferment. So long as there is a focus on Adityanath, probably his people will appreciate and understand and keep quiet. So I don't think they are keen to uh, encourage people you mentioned. But sir, the other thing is, I think Prime Minister wants to send a message that he is willing to entrust in a male-dominated politics of Andhra Pradesh. He is willing to put Purandeshwari as the face, as a woman leader, as the BJP head. A formula that they are also examining in Karnataka. After, Shobha Karandlaje is a Vokalinga leader from North Karnataka, and she could have been given a position because she was very active under Yediyurappa. Her problem was her proximity to Yediyurappa was a kind of seen as a negative point. But otherwise, she's a very active leader. She does a lot of groundwork. She has a network of supporters, and we have seen her as a minister in Yediyurappa's government also. She was handling PWD revenue, and there are scenes where she used to take part in the rescue missions during floods. So what we are hearing is, after the mess that Karnataka elections have left the BJP, the kind of shape, now probably they are examining whether Shobha Karandlaje can become the president of the BJP unit, because Katil has agreed to step down, accepting moral responsibility. Bommai will be active on the legislative side, in the legislature. He'll probably become the leader of the opposition. So you have a Lingayat as a leader of the opposition, a Vokalinga who is less a Vokalinga and more a Yediyurappa blessed leader will be heading the unit. And I think this is a formula they are looking at. It may not immediately bring results, but carry the bigger message. Look, we have state unit leaders as BJP, women leaders as BJP heads. Now, Jharkhand, sir, Babulal Marandi is actually, it's a homecoming. Babulal Marandi was the first chief minister when Jharkhand was born. And he was a kind of a no-nonsense leader, but then he had problems managing with other leaders. Finally, he left and formed his own Vikas party, which could not succeed without the BJP's ecosystem. So he has come back, which means the BJP is hoping to fight the next Jharkhand Assembly elections and the Lok Sabha elections in a rather unified way, rather than having an understanding with the Marandis, previously the Marandis party, because the idea is that's not going to get anywhere much for them. And Punjab, I think this is, I'm told, your Jakhad, Sunil Jakhad, who has been appointed, he's completely from the Congress. And the BJP has realized that they have to bring together all the Amrinder Singh's men, they have to get them back together. And there are 10 Lok Sabha seats in Punjab. And I am told Sunil Jakhad has worked out a formula which has impressed the Prime Minister as well as Amit Shah, that BJP can look at least winning 4 of those 10 Lok Sabha seats. At least at the minimum expectation.
Sir, Sunil Jakhar is the son of Balram Jakhar, right? Who used to be the speaker?
Yes, exactly. He was the speaker, right. Lok Sabha speaker, Balram Jakhar, who used to often get elected from Rajasthan.
Right. And
interesting. He was the Congress president in Punjab when Amrinder was chief minister, and he was one of the persons who was in the running. If Amrinder had to be removed, then why not Sunil Jakhar? But then they went in for somebody
Sidhu.
else. Not Sidhu. They went in for that Channi. Now we do not know where Channi is. I'm told he spends most of his time in Canada.
Oh my goodness.
Or as Punjabis say, Kannada.
Speaking of that, I think Kamal Nath is also a Malhotra, right? Which means he's a Punjabi.
Yes.
In Madhya Pradesh.
He's from Calcutta. His origins are, his father was an industrialist in Bengal, Kolkata.
I see, Kolkata person. All right, a lot of stuff now. We have given you a lot of stuff to chew and mull over. So very interesting talk today. I expect this to hit 100,000 viewers. It's in your hands. If you like this video right now, it could possibly hit that ceiling and go beyond 100,000. Shekharji has been drawing some very impressive views lately. Thank you, Shekharji. And now let's take a few questions, sir. Thank you, Vikram Kaushal Singh, for becoming a YouTube member. Pawan Kishore wants to know, any possibility of SAD, TDP, LJP, JDS getting back to NDA fold? Any thoughts on if Mayawati will join NDA UPA? If everybody joins NDA,
these are all possibilities, and one cannot rule out, because I am hearing if there is the Chirag Paswan could be back, which means that faction of LJP, already one faction is there. There could be another faction could come back. Paswan's brother is a minister, central minister, so that is possible. JDS, we saw all those announcements. Yediyurappa saying that he is willing to work with Janata Dal Secular, and saying that because backing H.D. Kumaraswamy's charges against Congress. And Kumaraswamy in turn, he did not directly respond to what Yediyurappa had said. He threw a bombshell saying there is an Ajit Pawar waiting to happen in Karnataka. And when people pressed him for names, he said, there are names and names, but I don't names from my side. But it can happen. It can happen by end of this year. So Ajit Pawar phenomena, I think, has become a sort of a thing that everywhere people are talking about it. That's a trigger that Ajit Da has caused in all these states where the politics has been on a very slippery ground.
Next question, please. Truth Seeker, Shriji, please keep the conversation with Shekhar ji for at least 1 hour. We can listen to him and submit Sumit ji for hours together, please. I'll definitely consider your suggestion. See, what happens is, after a while, our throats start running dry, especially our guest throat, because I don't do a lot of talking. They do. And we need to give them a break. Sometimes I do forcibly come in with a question so that they can get a break. They can, even if nothing else, they can wet their lips. They do have to drink water. It's a little hard to talk for a long time. That's one thing. The other thing is there's a psychological limit. When somebody sees a video posted on YouTube, and if they see it is longer than 1 hour, somehow they feel like the investment is a lot. This is what I call as the Bata syndrome. They used to have all their shoes, chappals, 1995, 99.95. You would think that you are paying less. Actually, by the time you're done with taxes, it's more like 110. But when you look at the price, it says 99.95. So this kind of syndrome is there. So that's why we keep the conversations to less than 1 hour. But I'm happy that you are saying it is too short rather than you are saying it is too long. So thank you so much for that. Next one. Teja Mysore wants to know, just like opposition unity is a pie in the sky because each party has its own ambitions, isn't this now a problem for BJP in Maharashtra too? Distributing tickets is going to be a nightmare.
Definitely. There is no doubt about it. Teja ji is absolutely right, because if you get all kinds of people into the basket, then at the election, and then you do not know who will be your future partner. But I think what is happening is, sir, there is real politics going on where I think BJP is realized, sir, BJP is guided by, I feel, the larger mission, a larger mission that 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥, RSS has given to the BJP. So if you look at it, the long-term objectives cannot be met without some short-term things which are necessary, which the Congress has also done before. Otherwise, how do you explain Congress shaking hands with Shiv Sena to form the government in Maharashtra? Shiv Sena was a communal party. After all, Bal Thackeray once lost his even right to vote for his utterances. But Congress had no problem. He said the Congress washing machine is about people becoming secular once they join hands with them. This has happened in state after state. If the BJP washing machine is the so-called corrupt becoming clean, you have the other washing machine which converts communal into secular. And if they leave company, then it becomes secular, becomes communal. That is a dryer. That is a dryer part of that washing machine. But there will be a problem, because the tickets, the seats are limited, unless, of course, there will be a delimitation post 2026 and maybe in 2030, when if you have about 1,000 seats or at least 800 seats to be contested Lok Sabha seats, then you can accommodate all factions. Probably this arrangement may work when your Lok Sabha has 800 plus seats. But at the current levels, and given the assembly limitations of assembly strength, it's going to be a problem. I think the leaders of the BJP are not looking at it in those terms right now. Right now, they want to break the opposition. arrangement wherever it is, so that everything is in a quandary, and they are helped, rather, I would say, by the fact that Rahul Gandhi's renewed interest in the leadership of the Congress, his renewed interest, to stake claim to a position of power, that is also helping the, getting these other opposition parties to switch over to the side, because there is still reluctance to accept. See, Sir Praful Patel, who switched sides and remains a very close aide of Sharad Pawar. And I'm using a present tense because I still can't believe that he has left Sharad Pawar. Now, what does he say in all the interviews? He says, I attended that unity meeting in Patna, the first unity meeting. But what did I see? I went because Sharad Pawar asked me to accompany. And that was an eye-opener for me. We sat there for 2-3 hours. I saw the deliberations. But I didn't see any plan how to fight the BJP. And I didn't see any plan for a single party to have at least 150 to 200 seats. Because no alternative arrangement is possible, and he cites examples. Whether it is 96 to 98, when Congress backed the 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙦 first and Inder Kumar Gujral next for a non-BJP coalition in Delhi. Congress itself had 100 plus seats. And subsequently also, and in that arrangement, 96 to 98, the left chunk was huge. They had 60 plus seats. Now, we don't see a scenario where the left can win 60 plus seats. We don't see a scenario assuming that Congress does very well in this the coming assembly election, for a Congress to really play an alternative pole, for a Congress-backed government or a Congress-led government as an alternative model to BJP-led government. Congress has to win somewhere between 160 seats, 160 to 175 seats. That confidence, at least the opposition parties don't have. And Praful Patel says that, look, how could we, that is why we have been, there has been a tremendous churning in our party. We have discussed it with Sharad Pawar, and Sharad Pawar ji is aware of this. Otherwise, why would he be throwing, quote unquote, googlies, trying to reach out to BJP leaders?
There was one leg spin bowler, I think his name is Piyush Chawla, if I remember correctly. And he used to bowl so many googlies, people said, wait, this guy is not a leg break bowler, he's a googly bowler. So we are seeing Sharad Pawar in a similar role here. Next question, please.
Sir, see, you can think you are throwing googlies, but they should not end up as no balls.
Rahul Rathod wants to know, is India moving towards two-party country with BJP and INC like in US, because all regional parties are family enterprises? INC is also family, but at least they have some leaders at state level. Your view, sir?
No, I think two-party thing has been often talked about, when Congress had numbers and BJP was the largest opposition party. But today's arrangement is, I see a single party domination more.
Yeah.
Unless, because it is a more now at the way things are, appearing in the run-up to 2024, unless there is some miracle and Congress revives in a very big way, or we are underestimating the people's problems with the current dispensation, or the difficulties people are facing, or the rural distress. I mean, if we are underestimating that, then probably you could see a situation where again it will be back to a Congress-led grouping and a BJP-led grouping. But at the moment, what you see is 9 years have passed. The opposition parties, particularly the Congress, failed to utilize this period to really rebuild their base. What we are seeing is short-term arrangements, some kind of attempts to somehow come back to power, but no real alternative agenda has been read by the Congress to tackle BJP in a very strong way. All that they are hoping is people will reject the BJP. A similar thing, I remember, which Sonia used to tell, when she took over in 98 as Congress president, and you had a Vajpayee government from 98 to 2004. It was not until 2003 that Sonia really became active. That time she used to say, look, anyway, our time will come. People will get fed up with this. And that's what happened in 2004.
Thank you, sir. Next question is Ruben Loganathan wants to know, can the cadres of BJP accept all these alliances without any big numbers rebelling and not voting for BJP in elections?
Sir, I don't see a very organized rebellion, because outside the BJP ecosystem, what can these leaders do? That is what. But they could be a problem if their leaders don't get tickets. Then what happens in those certain pockets or in certain assembly seats, as we saw in Karnataka? So there is a problem. But when it comes to Lok Sabha elections, sir, this time Lok Sabha elections requires a face, and BJP's face is Prime Minister Modi. And it will be, whether you want Modi back or not. So when it comes to that, in some Lok Sabha seats, maybe if their nominee is not the Lok Sabha candidate, maybe there will be some problems. But overall, I don't see it affecting. But in assembly elections, yes, there will be problems.
Talk about assembly elections. Let's talk about assembly elections in Maharashtra for a minute before we go to the next question, because it was at the back of my mind. You take a look at the Sharad Pawar party, whatever the party he has formed, NCP. Before that, he had some other things also. That faction has rarely got more than 60 seats. There are 298 or 288 seats in Maharashtra. Right? He has rarely got more than 60 seats. So at best, he remains a chieftain of a small chunk of Maharashtra, not all of it. It's a very resourceful,
Western
Maharashtra,
Maharashtra,
a sugar lobby, right? Western Maharashtra, right? So why is this man getting such a big, larger than life ego? Because no matter what happens, from that 50, 60, 70 seats, he may be able to get 10 or 15 MP seats. So he is like another KCR, in my opinion, sir, in terms of being able to command the strength. And his best chance was being in Congress, but keeping out Sonia Gandhi's faction. He lost out in that in 1999, which is why he went out and formed NCP, right?
And then formed an alliance with Congress in the subsequent elections also.
Sir, that is because of vitamin M, sir. There is no... Those days, there was no stock exchange. Chidambaram was still... Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. See, Pawar, the importance of Pawar in Maharashtra politics is, sir, after exit of leaders like Y.B. Chavan and Vasantdada Patil, all those giants who strided the politics of Maharashtra, the Pawar belongs to has been filling up that gap which the Maratha voters have been always wanting. That to a large members of that community, he's an icon. And in that, they are willing to forget his politics, his style, his ability to make friends, break friends, again remake friends. So, it's something that at the voter level, he remains the tallest Maratha leader. And being a Maratha, that has been his USP. So that's why, he could break Congress and yet retain his hold. Yes, but that iconic, this Maratha iconic image that he carries, and that is sometimes has a pan effect, in the sense who are alliance with Sharad Pawar, they also get benefit because there are Marathi voters in other regions also. So is essentially because of this Maratha factor, and Maratha voters have been always looking for an image, because they have seen that politics being under leaders like, as I mentioned, Y.B. Chavan, Vasantdada Patil, and there are several names, and who have remained an icon for the community. And Sharad Pawar appears to be the last of it. And the importance of Ajit Pawar is also, sir, very interesting. Since after Sharad Pawar, he is seen as a more decisive leader than even Sharad Pawar. People who really like Ajit Pawar, they say that he is a quick on the take, he decides fast, and he is very straight. He is not diplomatic like Sharad Pawar. Though his politics may involve some of the toolkits of Sharad Pawar, but he's seen as a straight leader, as a kind of a strong leader. And people say that his administrative abilities are not bad.
Sir, we're going to show you a cartoon, and we are hoping that you can give us the backstory on this. Take a quick look.
This traces how 𝙒𝙗𝙗𝘅 was removed and Sonia Gandhi was installed. and that story about how Kesari was kept locked in the toilet room.
Sir, we also refer to toilet as London. I've gone to London. So the title for this cartoon was Kesari's London trip. Because she didn't really win an election by standing for elections for the Congress party. She won it by default by actually making sure that he never came out of the toilet. That is the kind of leader Sonia Gandhi is. So anyway, next question, please. ME wants to know, sir, is Eknath Shinde camp happy with the induction of NCP ministers? What is BJP vision in Maharashtra?
No, Eknath Shinde camp is not happy because they wonder what was the need to bring these people in. In fact, initially Eknath Shinde's people were saying, look, Ajit Pawar can come as an individual into the government or into the arrangement, but NCP should not come. This was a kind of a condition I heard, Eknath Shinde even putting across to Devendra Fadnavis that do not bring NCP in here. But now what has happened is, Ajit Pawar has come, but NCP has come in a way which is not a complete NCP. So I think the demand has been met, but the problem is, I think Eknath Shinde's people have realized that when it comes to bargaining power for the sake of continuation of the coalition, I think that bargaining power is somewhat constrained now because you have these people from NCP who have come. But this time, sir, when Shiv Sena split, it was about the stability of the government because Shiv Sena formed an important component of Aghadi. Now, in this case, NCP, this government is not dependent on NCP. It is not dependent on Ajit Pawar. But Ajit Pawar has joined it with whatever NCP has. So, this in fact gives a BJP a kind of ability to perform a balancing act. In the sense, Ajit Pawar also knows that now that he has come here, he cannot leave it. And Eknath Shinde also knows this arrangement has to continue till the next elections. Now, those who know Ajit Pawar say, look, he has not come just for the sake of deputy CM. You have had leaders like Sanjay Raut who are terribly upset how things have completely overtaken them. First, the collapse of Aghadi, the split in Shiv Sena, now the split in NCP. So he goes on saying, look, Ajit Pawar has not come for deputy CM's post. He will angle for CM's post, which the BJP may be willing to. But sir, these are all in the realm of the future. What is possible? Will Ajit Pawar faction merge in BJP? Because BJP has always had a paucity of Maratha leaders, and they would like to have a Pawar clone in their camp. So these are all possibilities. So therefore, I think BJP's vision in Maharashtra at the moment is, it's the short term is to win maximum number of Lok Sabha seats from Maharashtra, which Maharashtra has a total of 48 seats, which is second to Uttar Pradesh, which has 80 seats. So I think this is the very, very focused attention at the BJP, and then the assembly. Now, as I said, the possibilities of assembly elections being held along with Lok Sabha are there. But the final call will be taken probably once the Lok Sabha elections are announced. That is sometime in March.
Next question, please. AZ wants to know, ask Shekhar, is BJP really worried and going about scouting allies, or is it the other way around? Parties are flocking to BJP.
Sir, I think the first thing happened, then the second thing followed. The first thing that BJP is indeed looking for areas where to maximize Lok Sabha seats, particularly those 160 seats that we discussed, where BJP did not win in the 2019 elections. Then once when they see the absence of an alternative to BJP, political parties which are on the opposite side, they feel they have to be with the winning side. After all, the power is a powerful glue. That's the reason why these parties, smaller parties, regional parties, sir, I cannot see a scenario in 2024 DMK continuing to be an opposition party at the center. Because already there is so much of, I must say, discontent among these members of parliament who sit in the Lok Sabha. I mean, they feel, look, we are on this a constant battle because Stalin was enamored by Rahul Gandhi and even declared in 2019 that Rahul Gandhi will be our prime ministerial candidate. Now, can DMK manage another 5 years from 2024 as an opposition party in the center? So therefore, you can see, sir, in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections and post-Lok Sabha elections, there are going to be a lot of alignments and realignments. Only the stars will know. I mean, the planetary movements can possibly throw light.
Next question, please. Oh, by the way, a lot of astrologers have read the horoscope of Rahul Gandhi and have declared that he can never become prime minister. It is just not in his Rashi. That's what people have told me. Anyway, Kota Murthy wants to know, there is a rumor that first Ajit joins government, gets in touch with Eknath group, and then later splits government with Shinde group and comes out so that BJP government falls. Is it true?
No, Kotaji, I must say that this because the reason why Eknath Shinde left Vikas Agadi was that NCP, since finance ministry was under NCP under Ajit Pawar, they were not giving funds and Shiv Sena ministers were helpless to carry out any projects. So the chemistry between Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar is not that it has improved a lot, at least not at this moment. I do not see such a thing happening now. And sir, so long as Prime Minister Modi is at the center, there is a BJP government at the center, any localized arrangements will not work because you won't be called to form the government. They may impose president's rule. I mean, I'm saying as a kind of a logical argument. So I don't see such possibilities.
Next question, please. Rashmi Karnawat wants to know, sir, what do you predict of Baramati elections? Another Amethi? About her losing, Supriya Sule losing.
No, I think before, in the next 7-8 months, she may also say, Ajit Da is my brother, he is my dearest brother. Because Baramati Assembly constituency is represented by Ajit Da. Lok Sabha constituency is represented by Supriya Sule. So I don't think, I mean, at this moment, I expect the chemistry being what it is, given the family pressure. I don't think the Pawar clan will let them, clash in either of these elections. There could be a patch up. That's all the more I say, one wonders what is all this? This is where we began this debate today. Is it real?
Yes.
I think we are also coming close to ending this debate on the same point. Because is it real and will it last? I mean, the so-called enmity. And sir, the Pawar blood is thicker than the normal human blood.
Next question. Divakar Saripalli wants to know, after Itala Rajender entered BJP in Telangana, rifts between leaders increased. Hardly there are leaders, yet there are fight between them. Is BJP failing in Telangana? Any chance of KCR play? Because he was with KCR before, Itala.
No, he was with KCR before. He fell out because KCR was encouraging his family, KTR and Kavita, and he did not see a much scope for his own rise. And that's why BJP picked him. And BJP's problem was they have what I must say, they could fill the space of the opposition, but they did have well-known faces. So that is why these imports happened. Now at the moment, I see now it is left for Rajender ji to decide, and because this is an opportunity for him. Because this election, if he can create upsets, he can create upsets and somehow dip the tally of with DRS, Bharat Rashtriya Samiti, then probably his own future politics opens up. Now, as far as BJP, I think they will see that this election maybe the Rajendra will have a greater say. Now, if doesn't work, then because Rajendra is maybe he may also freely leave and go back to KCR. What does that do? These are all, sir. There is nothing fixed about these, the leaders and even the parties.
Yeah,
and for all sir, KCR may be an ally of Modi post 2024.
Next one, please. Nitin Jain wants to know, sir, is Ajit Pawar work as Trojan horse within BJP to defeat? Previous time too, BJP got played by Ajit Pawar. Your say?
No, I don't think he's a Trojan horse because Ajit Pawar has his ambitions. Ultimately, if it is a question of becoming chief minister, he may even willing to merge his NCP in BJP because Ajit Pawar is a very ambitious leader and a leader who has a following. And I would say among the NCP, some people even look at him as a kind of a cult leader, who is seen as a very strong leader, and many of the NCP rank and file think that Sharad Pawar is a little more softer, but Ajit Pawar is seen as a strong, effective leader. So I don't see he playing a Trojan horse at the moment. But this tendency among the entire Pawar family clan to fight sometimes and embrace sometimes, and I think when occasion requires, they appear to be daggers drawn. But when things settle down, they always do what works out best for them.
Kodanganur Achar wants to know why BJP has left out Karnataka for filling up of position. Are they expecting fall of Karnataka government very soon?
No, I don't think they are expecting anything to happen because the experiment will go on for some time. At least this so-called agreement between Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar and this Congress High Command, at least till the Lok Sabha elections, there may not be any big changes happening. But anyway, as we discussed, there's a possibility that Karnataka BJP will have a new leader in Shobha Karandlaje as party president. And the interim arrangement is Baswaraj Kadji is the leader of the opposition, but some final thing could happen. And ultimately, they will try to see that organizationally they are able to get more younger people to lead the party in Karnataka.
Thank you so much, Shekharji. That was a very fantastic session today. A lot of things got discussed. Everything has been unpacked, and you know what is happening. So there is is it real moment still, and that will happen with NCP. One never knows. If you remember that movie called Pushpak, I don't know if you remember Pushpak. Have you seen that movie, sir?
No, sir, I don't remember. But I may have seen, but I can't.
So it's an 80s movie or early 90s movie, Pushpak, where there are no words in that. There are no words in the movie. Kamal Hassan movie.
Oh,
silent movie, yeah, silent movie.
Right.
And he hires an assassin. That assassin carries a knife, like a dagger, made out of ice. So he's always carrying this ice chest, so that the dagger is inside that. The reason is, after he kills, it melts, so there is no weapon, murder weapon. So this is a big joke in that. And I mean, it's so easy to understand when he takes it out and looks at it, it is melting, puts it back quickly again. So he has to take it out at the right time to kill anyone. Very funny movie. But so this, with NCP, I'm reminded of the same, a dagger made of ice. they'll stab you, and then by the time you realize you've been stabbed, the murder weapon is already gone, melted. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.